Captain Thexron stared at the chronometer on his bridge. 57 minutes remained of the human ultimatum. Around him, his crew worked in tense silence, monitoring sensors and weapon systems. The human fleet had grown larger, now numbering in the hundreds, but they maintained their strange, non-aggressive positions around the Zephyrian Fear Fleet. "Captain," his communications officer reported, "Admiral Kethvar is requesting an emergency conference with all fleet commanders." The holographic images of 12 Zephyrian captains materialized around the bridge, with Admiral Kethvar's imposing figure dominating the center. His expression was thunderous. "Captains, we have received disturbing reports from across the fleet. These humans are apparently studying us. Explain." Captain Morthak of the Terror's Embrace spoke first. "Admiral, they've been scanning our ships continuously, not with weapons sensors, but with what appears to be research equipment. They're analyzing everything, our hull composition, our weapon systems, our formation patterns. And they're sharing the data openly," added Captain Velkorin of the Nightmare's Herald. "We've intercepted their communications. They're discussing our technology like it's a fascinating puzzle to solve." Admiral Kethvar's mandibles clicked ominously. "Primitives don't analyze the ships of their conquerors. They beg for mercy." "Sir," Thexron interjected, "I don't think these humans are primitive. They've shown capabilities we didn't expect." "Such as?" Before Thexron could answer, every ship in the fleet simultaneously received an incoming transmission. It appeared on every screen, every display, every communication device at once. Admiral Chen stood in what appeared to be a war room, surrounded by humans in military uniforms. Behind her, massive displays showed real-time tactical information about the Zephyrian fleet that was impossible for the humans to possess. "Greetings, Admiral Kethvar," she said calmly. "Yes, we know who you are. We know the names of all your captains, the specifications of your ships, and the history of your last 50 conquests." Kethvar's 6 eyes widened in shock. "That information is classified at the highest levels of the Empire." "Not anymore," Admiral Chen replied. "Did you really think we spent the last 3 days just studying your technology? We've been in your computer system since the moment you arrived. Your encryption is quaint." Behind her, a human technician called out, "Admiral?" "We've finished downloading their complete database. Military records, star charts, diplomatic correspondence, everything." "Thank you, Lieutenant Morrison." Chen turned back to the camera. "Admiral Kethvar, in the past 72 hours we have learned everything there is to know about your empire. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your fears." "Impossible," Kethvar snarled. "Our cybersecurity protocols are impenetrable." A new human appeared on screen beside Admiral Chen. He looked young, barely an adult, wearing casual clothing and eating what appeared to be a snack food. "Hey there, alien dudes," the young human said casually. "I'm Jake. I'm 16 years old, and I hacked into your entire fleet network while doing my homework yesterday. Your cybersecurity is like really bad. My little sister could probably have cracked it, and she's 12. The teenager pulled up a holographic display showing detailed schematics of Zephyrian ships. "Want to see something cool? I figured out how to make your fear broadcast system play human music instead. Check this out." Suddenly, every speaker on every Zephyrian ship began playing loud, aggressive human music. The sound was overwhelming, drowning out all other communication. "Make it stop!" Admiral Kethvar roared over the noise. The music stopped instantly. Jake grinned. "Pretty neat, right? Oh, and I also might have uploaded some viruses into your navigation systems, just in case." Admiral Chen stepped forward again. "Admiral, you have 37 minutes remaining to withdraw from our system. I suggest you use that time wisely." The transmission ended, leaving the Zephyrian commanders staring at each other in horror. "Captain Thexron," Admiral Kethvar's voice was deadly quiet. "These humans have committed an act of war against the Zephyrian Empire. We will respond with the full fury of our military might. Admiral, perhaps we should consider their warning. Silence. I am ordering all ships to begin the extinction protocol. We will turn their planet into a lifeless rock and use the recordings to terrify 1,000 other worlds. The extinction protocol was the Zephyrian Empire's ultimate weapon. Every ship would focus their most powerful weapons on the enemy planet simultaneously, creating a cascade of destruction that would strip away the atmosphere and boil the oceans. All ships, target the human homeworld, Kethvar commanded. Prepare to fire on my mark! Across the Zephyrian fleet, massive weapons powered up. Energy readings spiked as each ship prepared to unleash devastation beyond imagination. Admiral, Thexron said urgently, the humans are responding. On every screen, Admiral Chen reappeared. But this time, she wasn't alone. Surrounding her were dozens of other humans, all wearing different uniforms, all with expressions of grim determination. Admiral Kethvar, Chen said, you have just made the worst mistake in your species' history. Behind her, one of the humans stepped forward. General Patricia Williams, Strategic Nuclear Command. Admiral Kethvar, you are about to learn why humans developed something called the Doctrine of Overwhelming Response. Another human joined her. Director Michael Chang, Biowarfare Defense Initiative. We've analyzed your physiology. We know exactly how to kill every member of your species. A third human appeared. Dr. Elizabeth Harper, Theoretical Physics Division. We've had time to study your faster-than-light communication systems. We know the location of every Zephyrian world. More humans continued to introduce themselves, each representing a different aspect of humanity's capacity for destruction. Professor David Martinez, Artificial Intelligence Research. We've created digital weapons specifically designed to target your ship's computer systems. Commander Rachel Torres, Orbital Strike Platform. We've been building weapons in space for the past decade. You just gave us targets. Dr. Jonathan Kim, Genetic Warfare Specialist. We can design viruses that will make your entire species extinct within a generation. Admiral Chen stepped forward again. You see, Admiral, when you first arrived, we were curious. When you threatened us, we were cautious. But when you decided to exterminate us, her expression became coldly furious. Now you've made us angry. All human vessels, she announced, execute Pattern Omega. What happened next would be remembered as the day the galaxy learned why humans had never been successfully conquered. The human ships didn't attack with conventional weapons. Instead, they began broadcasting. But these weren't communications or warnings. These were weapons that the Zephyrians couldn't have imagined. Every Zephyrian ship's computer system began failing simultaneously as human-designed viruses spread through their networks like wildfire. But these weren't random destructive programs. These viruses were intelligent, adaptive, and specifically designed to target Zephyrian technology. They're in our navigation systems, Captain Morthak reported in panic. Our weapons controls are offline. Life support systems failing across the fleet, shouted Captain Velcorin. But worse than the technological assault was what the humans began broadcasting to the Zephyrians themselves. Through every communication channel, every speaker, every screen, the humans showed the Zephyrian fleet exactly what humanity was capable of when they stopped pretending to be civilized. They showed the Zephyrians human history. Not the sanitized version they shared with each other, but the real history. The wars, the genocides, the weapons of mass destruction, the human capacity for systematic extermination that made the Zephyrian Empire's conquests look like children's games. They showed them biological weapons that could kill entire species, chemical weapons that could make planets uninhabitable for millennia, nuclear weapons that could crack planets apart. And worse, they showed them the theoretical weapons humans had designed but never built. Planet killers, star destroyers, reality-warping devices that could unmake entire solar systems. This is what we do to ourselves. Admiral Chen's voice echoed through every ship. when we disagree about politics or religion or economics. Imagine what we'll do to you. Captain Thexeron watched his crew collapse in terror as the full scope of human destructive capability was revealed to them. These weren't idle threats or propaganda. The humans were showing them detailed technical specifications, historical documentation, and real-time demonstrations of their weapons. But here's the truly terrifying part, Admiral Chen continued. Everything you've seen so far, that's our old technology. The weapons we've abandoned because we built better ones. On the screens, she gestured to her colleagues. These people behind me, they represent the current state of human military science, and they've had 3 days to prepare specifically for you. Dr. Harper, show them what we've built in the past 72 hours. The physicist stepped forward with a smile that would haunt Zephyrian nightmares for generations. We've constructed a device that can destabilize your faster-than-light communication network. Not just jam it, but cause it to implode across your entire empire. Every Zephyrian world would be cut off from every other world instantly. General Williams, your contribution? We've programmed our nuclear arsenal to target every Zephyrian world simultaneously. The weapons are already in transit. They'll arrive in your home system in approximately 6 hours. Director Chang? We've engineered 17 different viruses that can kill Zephyrians. They're loaded into atmospheric dispersal devices positioned around your homeworld as we speak. Admiral Kethvar's voice came through the communication channel as a barely coherent whisper. You prepared to commit genocide in 3 days? Admiral Chen's expression became genuinely sad. Admiral, you still don't understand. We didn't prepare for genocide in 3 days. We've been prepared for genocide for decades. We just finally found a target worthy of our attention. She paused, letting that sink in. Do you know why humans have never conquered other planets, Admiral? It's not because we can't. It's because we're afraid of what we'd become if we started. Around the Zephyrian fleet, human ships began taking new positions. But these weren't aggressive formations. They were escort positions. However, Admiral Chen continued, we're also capable of mercy. Your fleet will be escorted to the edge of our system. Your faster-than-light capabilities will be disabled until you reach neutral space. Your weapons will remain offline for 72 hours. You will return to your empire and deliver this message. Humanity is not to be contacted again. We will not seek you out. We will not invade your territory. But if any Zephyrian ship enters human space again, we will demonstrate exactly what happens when the species that invented the concept of overkill decides to apply it on a galactic scale. The human ships began gently but irresistibly pushing the Zephyrian fleet toward the edge of the system. Their weapons remained offline, their communications limited to emergency channels, their navigation systems programmed with a single destination, away from Earth. As the human planet fell away behind them, Captain Thexeron found himself thinking about the last thing Admiral Chen had said before ending communications. Captain, you came here believing you understood terror. You were wrong. Terror isn't something you inflict on others. Terror is the realization that there's something out there so much more dangerous than you, that your very existence depends on its mercy. She had paused then, her expression becoming almost philosophical. The truly terrifying species aren't the ones that conquer through fear, Admiral. The truly terrifying species are the ones that could conquer everything, but choose not to, because that choice means they have something to lose. And everyone knows what happens when you threaten something a human has to lose. Days later, as the Zephyrian fleet limped back toward their home territory, Admiral Kethvar issued new orders to the entire empire. Orders that would be carved in stone and transmitted to every ship, every world, every citizen of the Zephyrian domain. The orders were simple. Under no circumstances are any Zephyrian forces to enter the sector containing the world the inhabitants call Earth. The species known as humans are to be avoided at all costs. This is not a strategic withdrawal. This is not a temporary measure. This is a permanent prohibition. The humans have taught us something we thought we already knew. They have shown us what true terror looks like, and we have learned that sometimes the wise choice is to be grateful that the monster decides to let you live. In the depths of space, the human fleet watched the Zephyrian ships disappear into faster-than-light travel. On Earth, life continued as normal. Children went to school, people went to work, couples fell in love and got married. But in the halls of human government and military installations, plans were being made. Plans for what would happen when the next species decided to test humanity's resolve. Plans for weapons that would make the current arsenal look primitive. Plans for the day when humanity might have to step out of their single system and remind the galaxy why some species chose to remain hidden. Because the humans had learned something important about themselves in the past few days. They had learned that when they worked together, when they had a common purpose, when they stopped fighting each other and focused on an external threat, they became something that even they found frightening. And in the vast darkness of space, that was the most terrifying thought of all. The galaxy had always known that monsters lived in the dark between the stars. Now it knew that the most dangerous monster of all was the one that called itself civilized.